you can still take a picture, like even the first thing you want. So if you get it filled out and take a picture and send it to me, then send me the email or the W-2 tomorrow and I'll match it. So I'll hang tight on it and I'll match it. We'll get it worked out. Yeah, she wanted to share. I told her.
Well, I've come to graduation, so, and make sure I know when her party is.
Okay, yeah. I think it's going to be,
Yeah. No, that won't be bad. Yeah, in fact, I might have to because I will be on the floor. So,
yeah, that's fine.
So I'll be looking at so save me a seat.
Oh, I will. That's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to try to get in the same area that we sat for each other. But I just, because she should be facing the same way, because if they still do it, although I think, I didn't go last year, I went 2 years ago.
Dangerous between air testing when they didn't have to go on air testing unless they get drafted 60 days.
Wow.
Yeah, we graduated 22nd. His last day was 15th. So, yeah, it's we're running it down real fast. All he can think about is the Navy. Is what he said.
And that's fine, yeah.
If he is, he's passing it.
So that's
I'm not worried about it. He's 12 and all. In fact, we ran this afternoon. So I don't, I'm not worried about that point. I just hope he doesn't. He says he's whatever, but the good thing about it is he's tough. He'll hide that when he's getting yelled at, so I think he'll be fine. So the only thing I worry about is swim tests. He's taking individual swim lessons right now, really shore up his swimming. Because you have to. Because their uniforms are made to float. And he's got to swim 50 yards after diving, jumping off this platform. You got to float for a certain length of time. Of all the things he has, that's why the swimming test is the weakest area. So, but he's taking individual lessons down at the Kevin Center. So twice a week. They teach you, I mean, most of them teach you to zip under the water, and it inflates your suit. That you're wearing helps you float. It's crazy. But if you can find videos of it online, but you have to do it just a certain way, otherwise it'll sink you. But you do it a certain way and it inflates, it helps inflate the suit. You know, I don't
think I could do that.
I did. Well, that's what I wanted to say. I didn't like it.
He'll do it again.
So you have some of that same discipline.
I was with the band, so I could, we had to run a lap, so your rings will just fit like they got a lap.
Yeah.
So I did it.
I called you this morning. What did you post? As they do, they're under the radar. They're illegal now.
What was that? Code.
Yeah, code red. All that stuff's illegal now. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. He goes to Columbus on the 10th and flies out to Chicago on the 11th. I'll probably talk for a couple hours. Let's see what he's doing. He probably we were hoping to have it somewhere. He was wanting to work his other job and stuff. He's already put his notice in.
I now call to order the City of Vandalia council meeting for April the 15th, 2019. We will start out with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Would you still please stand for the allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, you've had an opportunity to look over meeting minutes, and that would be for the special council meeting on March the 11th, the council study session on March the 18th, and the council meeting minutes on March the 18th. Are there any changes to be made? Seeing none, they'll stand approved. We have no communications, petitions, or awards this evening, nor do we have any public hearings. And that brings us to comments from interested citizens. So if there's anyone in our audience who would like to make comment, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and your comment. Welcome.
Daryl Wacker, 2520 Circleview Drive, Kettering, 45419. Surprised I would have done this on the 1st when your meeting was canceled. But I guess by now you've all heard I am now working as the editor of the Xenia newspaper and the Fairborn newspapers. I found out on a Tuesday that, we need you in Xenia on Thursday. And it was a whirlwind of emotion and all those things that caught me off guard completely over when that happened the last week of March. I come here tonight, first of all, to just kind of give you an update of what I know. I can't tell you, I believe the Vandalia newspaper as you've known it is probably gone, as was Inglewood and Huber Heights. I personally am working on a plan to bring back some version of that by the fall of this year. But more than that, I just wanted to thank all of you. The city of Vandalia and Butler Township have become family to me over the last 7 years. I've made lifelong friends here. Your staff has been tremendous to work with, including Mr. Cruzy, Jerry, who always answered my questions, never flinched. Missy's probably the biggest help I've had here in the entire time I've been here. Rich has been amazing to work with. All of your staff, Rob Cron, everyone that I've dealt with. And it's not that way in other communities. That's the thing I want you to know. It's not that way in other communities. And to each of you, maybe some of you are glad to see me go, that may be, but I hope you feel like I've treated you fairly over the last 7 years. And more than anything, I just want to say thanks. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Daryl. And certainly it was a shock to all of us when you weren't there. And we have had some concerns about that news media getting out in a different form than just from our city staff and so forth. So I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I'm pleased to hear that you're trying to bring something back to our community. I applaud you for that. I think that you said that we were your family. I think that you have become a member of our family also. You have been really to things that other newspaper editors had not really come to, and so we always look for your friendly face. Now, do we always agree with you? No, but we're not supposed to. And yet I think that, as you said, I think you did in every aspect treat us very fairly. So I don't know if the other council members wanted to say something or not. Anybody?
Go blue.
Pardon me?
Go blue.
Go
Go
blue.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else out in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, let's go forward with our agenda, and that includes the city manager's report. We have no information items, however, we do have some action items. The Ohio Department of Liquor Control. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So all liquor permits in the city expire June 1 of each year and are subject to renewal. So council does have the right to object to the renewal of any permit and request a hearing Such objection will need to be made by May 2nd. The police chief has indicated that there are no issues with any of the local permit holders and that would warrant an objection.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we renew all liquor permits within the city of Vandalia that expire June 1st, 2019.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Gerhardt, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve all liquor permits within our city that expire on June the 1st, 2019. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. We have an additional action item this evening, and that's boards and commissions appointments, and that is to the Public Art and Vandalia Committee. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, so council has received an application from Ms. Judith Pope requesting appointment to the Public Art and Vandalia Committee. And council did have an opportunity to speak with Ms. Pope in your study session prior to this evening's meeting.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the application of Ms. Judith Pope to the Public Art and Vandalia Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Lewis, second by Councilwoman Fairst, that we do approve the appointment of Ms. Judith Pope to the Public Art and Vandalia Committee. Any comments? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes?
Vice Mayor Herbst?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Our first resolution for this evening is Resolution 19-R-23. Mr. McDonald, by title only, please.
A resolution declaring a resolution declaring various items as surplus and authorizing disposal of such items.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So each of the departments have compiled a list of items that staff would like for council to declare as surplus and grant authorization to dispose of those items. The surplus items will be placed on gov deals or otherwise disposed of by the city manager as provided by law.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 19R-23.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Ayler, second by Councilman Gerhardt, that we do approve Resolution 19-R-23. Any comments? Mr. McDonald, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Resolution 19-R-24. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a 3-year computer lease agreement with Dell Financial Services at the state bid price.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So the IT department has received computer quotes from 4 vendors for a new 36-month lease with a $1 lease buyout. The proposed lease is for 98 desktop computers, 11 laptops, and 7 tablets. The equipment being replaced would then be handed down to the various departments. Dell Direct submitted the lowest quote of $129,702.25 through the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Plan. The monthly cost is $3,896.26 over the term of the lease.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 19-R-24 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Forrest, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 19-R-24 as presented. Are there any comments? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Resolution 19-R-25. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution authorizing golf fee discounts and senior discount fee structure for the Castle Hills Golf Course.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So Castle Hills Golf Course is proposing to adjust the method for applying the senior special rates, which apply Monday through Friday. The normal rate for a senior for 18 holes is $31. However, due to area competition, the senior special rate, which is a cart with green fees of $27, has been offered since 2010 to attract senior golfers. The proposal was to charge more for green fees and less for the cart rental, thereby reducing the amount of sales tax paid on cart rentals. This change would result in a savings around $2,000. So in both cases, the total for the green fees and cart remains at $27. The current rate that we charge for green fees is $14. Under this proposal, that would be increased to $20. And the current cart fee is $13, and that would be reduced to $7. So by reducing the amount we're applying to the cart fees, we would pay less in sales tax. But again, the total for that package remains at $27.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I move that we approve Resolution 19-R-25 as submitted.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Herbst, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 19-R-25. And I'll just say this. From your explanation, I wouldn't have gotten it, but when it was on paper, it made a lot of sense. Yeah, so I hope the people recognize that or are listening this evening, that they need to go back and kind of put those numbers down to see it. So, thank you. Are there any other comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Resolution 19-R-26, Mr. McDonald.
A resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of police uniforms, footwear, work gear, and duty equipment requested by the Division of Police from Phoenix Outfitters in an amount not to exceed $26,000 and declaring the existing items as surplus.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So bids were opened on March 11 for police uniforms and equipment. While 2 bids were received, one of those bidders did not submit prices for all the items listed on our spec sheet. Phoenix Outfitters out of Springfield submitted the lone bid that met all of the bid specifications. Again, we have $26,000 budgeted for the purchase of equipment and uniforms this year.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 19-R-26.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Ehlers, second by Councilwoman Fairst, that we do approve Resolution 19-R-26. Anybody else want to say anything?
Now, I was just wondering, John, don't we usually get this stuff from Lions Apparel or not?
That is.
Is this the
It
same
is.
company we've been using? Or?
This is a company that the fire department has used to get
Okay.
fire equipment. I believe this is the first time the police department has used them.
Okay.
So that's why it sounds familiar. The fire department has bought turnout gear, helmets, and other equipment through Phoenix Outfitters.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Our first ordinance for this evening is 19-05. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance amending the Vandalia zoning code, table 1224-2, permitted accessory uses and structures, and city code section 122401E, standards for specific accessory uses and structures, to permit the raising of chickens.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this ordinance would allow for the raising of chickens as permitted accessory uses in residential, agriculture, and PUD zoning districts on lots 2 acres or larger, unless it's restricted by the private development standards. So the use would be subject to the following requirements. I'm not going to go over each and every one of these, just some of the major ones. Again, so no chickens would be permitted at a ratio greater than 2 chickens per acre, with a maximum 8 chickens regardless of the size of the lot. The chickens have to be kept in a coop or enclosed pen, can't be closer than 25 feet to any lot line. The coop and enclosure can only be located in the rear yard, including on corner lots. Coops and pens have to be maintained to prevent offensive smells. The wings have to be clipped. You're not allowed to have a rooster, and no individual is allowed to sell chickens or products produced by the chickens from a residential property.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move that we approve ordinance 19-05 in its first reading as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Lewis, second by Councilman Gerhardt that we do approve ordinance 19-05 in its first reading. Are there any comments? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Ordinance 19-06, Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance approving individual assessment amounts and directing the finance director or her designee to certify the amounts to the county auditor for collection and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Montgomery County recently began requiring Vandalia to pass legislation for property tax assessments of delinquent accounts. Again, previously, the county had accepted a letter and an attachment that specified the property identification number, the type, and amount of the assessments. So the types of delinquent accounts that can be assessed are varied. The things that we normally will assess for, we're talking about utility charges, water and sewer, weed cutting, the cleaning of properties, junk vehicles and rubbish, stormwater fees. So council does have an Exhibit A attached. The details, again, the property address, the property identification number, the type of assessment it is, as well as the amount. Again, given the change in practice by the Montgomery County, more than likely you'll see us bringing these types of ordinances back to council every month.
Thank you very much. Since this is an emergency ordinance, I will open up a public hearing. So if there's anyone in our audience who would like to make comment, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and then your statement. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 19-06 as an emergency.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Blakesley, second by Vice Mayor Herbst, that we approve ordinance 19-06 as an emergency. Any comments? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Herbst?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. We have no ordinances in their second reading. We did the emergency ordinance, and that brings us to our reports from boards and commission. With the Planning Commission minutes of July the 24th, Planning Commission minutes of February the 12th, and Vandalia Cultural Arts draft minutes of March the 19th. Are any questions or comments about any of those? They'll stand approved. We have the bill listing for March in the amount of $2,459,688.56. That brings us to council comments. And I'm going to take a privilege here. I'm going to be the first tonight because I think it's very important that we recognize one of our council members, and that's Councilwoman Fairst. I know that many of you have driven by and seen something going on at the art park that's a little bit different from the planting of trees or the erection of the statues that we normally have. It wasn't that long ago, I don't even think it was 10 years ago, when she sat down with me and said, look at this. This is what we could do with this property. And she had a kind of like a little flow chart of what she foresaw as an art park. And from that time, I think that every single year you can see that there has been progress made on that park. And now we have something, another unique piece of that park being developed. And I'm going to let her explain, so I'm going to call on Councilwoman Fairst to explain what's going on and how we have had contributors to the process.
I think we started in 16 talking about an amphitheater with Vandalia Rotary Club. So at that time, Vandalia Rotary was willing to put money forward for materials for an amphitheater. And Rhonda Rhodes, who's a member of Rotary, we asked R.B. Juergens some advice on how to do certain things, and they stepped right up and said that they were willing to donate their labor on this project for free. So we have Vandalia Rotary paying for the materials and R.B. Juergens donating the labor, and we have just finished up Phase 1 and 2 of the Vandalia Rotary Amphitheater. So you'll see a 32-foot circular round pad and seating in a semicircle for about 150 plus rear ends, as they call it. So city staff was involved in the design, and they've been in this project all along. But a big thank you to Vandalia Rotary and R.B. Juergens, and Vic Roberts is a vice president at R.B. Juergens, and he's been out there every day. Have to say thank you to Reading Rock, Alan Block. When they found out this was a donated project, they discounted their product, which is the surface rock used to make the seating area. So if you get a chance, stop out and walk back and look at that. There's still a few things to be done. I think they seated today, but it has a ramp that goes up to the seating area, so it's handicap accessible, and that will move along even a little bit more as we go along. But it's just such a we've had a lot of press with the newspapers, and we were on the news a couple times, and on Facebook, and so there's been a lot of touching of a lot of people with our park. So hopefully you get out there and get a chance to take a look at that. But thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, I'm going to switch this around just a little bit. I'm just going to come on down the line here. So, Councilman Blakesley?
Just a couple things. Thanks for helping to arrange all that, because I know there's quite a buzz about that amphitheater, and already there's people approaching us about the use of that and the foresight of having some nice programs out there. So kudos to helping do that. And happy birthday to Missy.
Oh, thanks.
Should we sing?
Hey, happy birthday.
Councilman Blakes? All right. Yeah.
No comment tonight.
Vice Mayor Herbst.
Well, thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to thank Mr. Wacker for his 7 years of service here in this community. I know there was times when he had his hands full with everything going on around here and handling multiple communities, outside of this area. But I'd like to especially thank you for all the hours you put in reporting on the high school sporting events and keeping us updated on scores and so forth. I don't know how many times I sat there watching TV with my phone, getting your updates on basketball scores, football scores, and I really appreciate that, and I think there's a lot of people in the community who are really going to miss that. Thank you. And I'd also like to wish Missy a happy birthday.
Thank you.
I didn't know it. Should we all sing happy birthday?
No.
No. Okay, I guess that question was answered real quick.
Later.
Later. Okay. Councilman Ehlers.
Yeah, Darrell, I'd also like to express my gratitude and best of luck on your new position, so you'll be missed. The other thing I'd like to mention, I had an opportunity last Saturday to use one of the services that NCR provided. Prior to that, 4 or 5 days prior to that, I had spread quite a bit of mulch and came home from breakfast that Saturday morning, and my front bed, the mulch was on fire. So I think with the heat, it burned a bush, and so I called 911. And they dispatched the fire department. They came out, sprayed a little water on it. I really felt kind of silly about the whole thing. They were out within a minute, so did a great job. I told them, look, you guys need any additional gear, equipment, hats, let us know. We'll prove it. Just send it in. But they did do a nice job. I don't want to recognize them for that. Thank you.
Councilman Lewis.
Well, I hadn't expected to see Darrell here this evening, or I would have had some sage remarks prepared. But Darrell, thank you for the last 7 years. I think you have done the community a service relative to providing information, both good and bad, about our council, our community, the Rotary Club, and certainly the high school sports, to name a few. And I think it was a valuable service, and I think it was well done. So thanks for all your hard work on our behalves. Also, and it's Candy has worked tirelessly in putting that art park together, and that was another one of those things that I wasn't really terribly excited about, the idea of taking that field and putting a bunch of artwork in it. It didn't jive, but it's really become a neat place. And then to have the foresight to create the idea of the amphitheater, I think it's going to be a great asset to our community, and it gave our Rotary Club something to get behind. And I think it's a tribute to all of your hard work, and so thank you very, very much on behalf of many, many people. Lastly, to acknowledge Mr. Blakesley real quickly. He provided a great list of some of the worksheet of the priorities that council should be having in front of it. We try to prioritize a number of different city initiatives over the year. We create more. We try to give Mr. Cruzy a little guidance to what we think is important, and more importantly, Mr. Cruzy was collaborated with Mike to go through those items, and it creates a great working template for us, and it obviously evidenced some hard work on both of your behalf. So I think that was valuable. Thank you very much, and that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Nothing this evening.
Mr. McDonald.
I actually have something for a change.
Oh, no. You're usually the first one. Now you know how it feels.
It was a long time ago. When Daryl came up, he said working with the city was not like any other city. First of all, I agree with that. I don't know if you guys realize what a special thing you have. But more importantly, working with Daryl is not working with other reporters. And I don't know if you realize that how special you are, and you make my job a lot easier. So you will be greatly missed by me. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you very much. Anybody else? Do we sing now or after I hit the gavel?
Turn the microphones on or off?
With that, the meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm back for the election. That's my goal. So my goal is to get in the I've got to go back. I've had to wait for a year. No, they're not. They're not. Good luck to you working with this one, so you know. Yeah, just find out.